Welcome to Pigeon Healthy. Today we're talking about something that every racing pigeon fancier knows is critical: recovery after a hard race. You've trained your birds for months. You've conditioned them, paired them, motivated them. You've sent them to a race, maybe 200 kilometers, maybe 500 kilometers, maybe even longer, and then you wait. You watch the sky, and finally your bird lands, drops into the trap, and you've got your result. But the race isn't really over when the bird lands. In many ways, the most important part starts now: recovery. How you care for your bird in the hours and days after a hard race determines whether that bird will be ready to race again soon, whether it will maintain its condition through the season, and whether it will stay healthy or break down under the cumulative stress of racing. Think about what a pigeon goes through during a long race: hours of continuous flight, sometimes 6, 8, 10 hours or more, intense muscular effort, beating wings hundreds of thousands of times, cardiovascular stress, heart and lungs working at maximum capacity, dehydration from respiratory water loss and exertion, energy depletion, burning through glycogen and fat stores, oxidative stress from intense metabolism creating free radicals, psychological stress from navigation challenges, weather, predators, and then the landing, exhausted, often disoriented, sometimes having faced difficult conditions. A bird returning from a hard race is in a state of extreme physiological stress. If recovery is managed well, the bird bounces back quickly, rebuilds reserves, and comes out of the experience stronger, more conditioned. If recovery is managed poorly, the bird may become sick, lose excessive condition, take weeks to recover, or suffer long-term damage that ends its racing career. The conventional approach to race recovery typically involves commercial recovery products: electrolyte powders, amino acid supplements, vitamin injections, glucose solutions, sometimes even pharmaceutical drugs to reduce inflammation or prevent infection. These products can help, and I'm not saying they have no place, but they're expensive. They often contain synthetic ingredients and additives, and they're treating symptoms rather than supporting the bird's natural recovery processes. What if there was a natural approach? What if you could support recovery using herbs, whole foods, and natural care practices that work with the bird's biology, strengthen resilience, and don't have the downsides of synthetic products? There is. I'm going to walk you through a 5-step natural recovery protocol that covers every aspect of what a racing pigeon needs after a hard flight. This isn't theoretical. This is what I've used successfully for years, and it's what many successful natural-minded fanciers use. Understanding race recovery needs. Before we go through the protocol, let's understand what the bird needs. After a long race, several systems need support: hydration and electrolyte balance. The bird has lost significant fluid and electrolytes through respiration and exertion. These must be replaced quickly. Energy restoration. Glycogen and fat stores are depleted. The bird needs easily digestible energy sources to rebuild reserves. Muscle repair. Intense muscular work creates micro-damage and inflammation. Muscles need protein and anti-inflammatory support to repair and rebuild. Respiratory recovery. After hours of maximum respiratory effort, sometimes in dusty conditions, the airways may be inflamed or irritated. Respiratory support helps clear any congestion and reduce inflammation. Digestive recovery. Stress affects digestion. The gut may be somewhat shut down or inflamed. Supporting digestive function ensures the bird can absorb the nutrition needed for recovery. Immune support. Extreme stress temporarily suppresses immune function, making birds vulnerable to infection. Immune supporting care reduces this risk. Rest and calm. The bird needs quality rest to allow all the recovery processes to occur. Reducing stress and anxiety supports this. The 5-step protocol addresses all of these needs using natural methods. Step 1. Immediate hydration with herbal electrolytes. The first priority when a bird returns is hydration. Even before food, water is critical, but not just plain water. After extreme exertion, the bird needs electrolytes as well as fluid. Why not just plain water? When a bird is severely dehydrated and has lost electrolytes, drinking large amounts of plain water can actually worsen the electrolyte imbalance by diluting blood sodium and other minerals. This can cause problems. The bird needs both water and electrolytes together. Commercial electrolyte powders. These work, but they typically contain artificial colors, flavors, and synthetic compounds. The natural alternative is just as effective. Natural electrolyte solution. Recipe: 1 liter of clean water, 1 tablespoon of raw honey, provides glucose for quick energy and trace minerals. 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt or Himalayan salt, provides sodium and chloride. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, helps buffer lactic acid. Juice of half a lemon or 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, provides potassium and other minerals. Mix thoroughly until honey and salts dissolve completely. This creates a balanced electrolyte solution with glucose for energy. Enhanced version with herbs. To the basic recipe above, add a tea made from one of these herbs. Chamomile has calming and anti-inflammatory properties. Make a tea by steeping 1 tablespoon dried chamomile in 1 cup boiling water for 10 minutes. Strain and add to the electrolyte solution. This helps calm stressed birds and supports digestion. Nettle, rich in minerals including iron, magnesium, and calcium. Make a strong nettle tea. 2 tablespoons dried nettle per cup of water. Steep 20 minutes. Strain and add 1/4 cup of this tea to the electrolyte solution. This provides additional mineral support. Peppermint, soothing to the digestive tract and slightly cooling. Make peppermint tea, 1 tablespoon per cup of water. Steep 10 minutes. Strain and add to electrolyte solution. Provide this natural electrolyte solution as the only drinking water immediately upon the bird's return and for the first 4 to 6 hours. Birds that are very dehydrated will drink eagerly. Monitor that they're drinking. Some birds are so exhausted they won't drink immediately, in which case you can give a few drops by mouth with a dropper to get them started. After 4 to 6 hours, you can transition to half electrolyte solution and half plain fresh water, then to plain water by 12 to 24 hours post-race. Why this works: the honey provides quick energy glucose that helps restore blood sugar depleted during the race. The salt provides sodium and chloride critical for cellular function and fluid balance. The baking soda helps neutralize lactic acid buildup in muscles. The lemon or vinegar provides potassium and helps with mineral absorption. The optional herbs provide additional minerals, calming effects, or digestive support. Step 2. Muscle repair with anti-inflammatory seeds. After hydration is addressed, the next priority is supporting muscle recovery. Hours of intense wing beating creates micro tears in muscle fibers and inflammation. This is normal and part of how muscles build strength, but the recovery process needs support. The natural approach, omega-3 fatty acids and high-quality protein are the key nutrients for muscle repair and reducing inflammation. Primary recommendation: flaxseed. We've discussed flaxseed in detail in previous videos. It's the richest plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids, which have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. After a race, inflammation is high throughout the body, particularly in muscles. Omega-3 helps resolve this inflammation and supports tissue repair. Preparation and dosage. Starting immediately upon return or within the first few hours, add ground flaxseed to feed. Use approximately 1 teaspoon of freshly ground flaxseed per bird per day for the first 3 to 4 days post-race. Mix with moistened feed so it sticks rather than settling to the bottom. You can also soak whole flax seeds overnight, then mix into feed. Soaked flax seeds are easier to digest and release their nutrients readily. Secondary addition: fenugreek seeds. Fenugreek, which we discussed in the breeding video, also has anti-inflammatory and muscle-supporting properties. It's particularly useful for race recovery because it helps restore glycogen stores and provides protein for tissue repair. Add 1 teaspoon of soaked fenugreek seeds per bird per day for the first 3 days post-race. Combine with the flaxseed for synergistic effect. Complete muscle recovery mix. Number 1 teaspoon ground flaxseed per bird. 1 teaspoon soaked fenugreek seeds per bird. Small pinch of turmeric powder. Powerful anti-inflammatory. Mix these with the daily grain rations slightly moistened for the first 3 to 5 days post-race. Why this works: the omega-3 from flax and hemp reduces inflammation throughout the body, particularly in worked muscles. The protein from these seeds plus fenugreek provides amino acids needed for tissue repair. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. Together, these support faster muscle recovery and reduce soreness. Step 3. Respiratory reset with herbal steam. After hours of maximum respiratory effort, often flying through dusty conditions or over varied terrain with different air quality, the respiratory system needs support. The airways may have dust, the mucous membranes may be inflamed, and the bird may have minor congestion. The natural approach, herbal steam therapy, steam inhalation with respiratory supporting herbs, opens airways, loosens any mucus, reduces inflammation, and provides antimicrobial support. Herbs for respiratory steam. Thyme. This is my top choice. Thyme contains thymol and carvacrol, powerful antimicrobial and expectorant compounds. It opens airways, loosens mucus, and fights any opportunistic bacteria or fungi. Eucalyptus. Opens airways dramatically and has antimicrobial properties. Use sparingly as it's very strong. Peppermint. Cooling and soothing to airways, helps open congestion. Mullein soothes irritated respiratory tissues and acts as an expectorant. How to perform steam therapy. Prepare a strong herbal infusion. Use 3 to 4 tablespoons of dried thyme or 2 tablespoons thyme plus 1 tablespoon each of eucalyptus and peppermint per liter of water. Pour boiling water over the herbs in a heat-safe container. Let steep for 5 minutes. The water should be very aromatic and full of volatile oils from the herbs. Create a steam environment. You need a small enclosed space where the bird can be exposed to the steam without being so close that it's uncomfortable. Options include a small pet carrier, a cardboard box with air holes, or a small cage. Place the hot herbal water in a stable container. Not so hot it could burn if tipped, and not directly accessible to the bird. Place the container in the enclosed space. Add the bird. Cover partially, leaving enough ventilation that the bird isn't in thick steam but is in a steamy, aromatic environment. Duration 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Monitor the bird constantly. If the bird shows any distress, remove immediately. Most birds tolerate steam therapy well and actually seem to enjoy the warm, moist air after a hard flight. Frequency. Perform steam therapy once on the evening the bird returns, and optionally once the following day if you noticed any signs of respiratory stress. Safety notes. Never let the water be so hot it could burn. Never seal the bird in with no ventilation. Always monitor. If the bird resists or shows stress, don't force it. Why this works? The warm steam opens airways and loosens any mucus. The volatile oils from the herbs coat the respiratory passages, providing antimicrobial protection and soothing irritated tissues. The bird breathes more easily, any minor congestion clears, and respiratory recovery is accelerated. Step 4. Digestive recovery with soothing herbs. Race stress affects the digestive system. During maximum exertion, blood flow is diverted away from digestion to the muscles and heart. The gut essentially shuts down temporarily. When the bird returns, digestive function needs to be restored gently. The problem, feeding too heavily too soon can cause digestive upset because the gut isn't ready to process large amounts of food. But the bird needs nutrition for recovery. The natural approach, calming herbs and optimal rest environment. Chamomile, the gentlest and safest calming herb. Make a strong chamomile tea and add to drinking water in the evening, or give a few drops directly by mouth before dark. Chamomile has mild sedative effects that help birds settle and sleep deeply. Lavender. The scent of lavender is calming. You can place dried lavender in small sachets near the perch area. Not where the bird can eat it, just where it can smell it. Some fanciers add a drop of lavender essential oil to a cloth placed near but not touching the bird. The aroma helps calm and promotes rest. Valerian. Stronger than chamomile but very effective for extremely stressed or anxious birds. Use sparingly. A very weak valerian tea, just a pinch of dried roots steeped in a cup of water, a few drops given by mouth in the evening can help a bird that simply cannot settle. Optimal rest environment, quiet loft. Minimize disturbances. No loud noises, no other birds harassing the returnee. Dim lighting. After a race, provide dim light or darkness to encourage rest. Some fanciers bring race returns into a quiet, darkened recovery pen for 24-48 hours. Comfortable perch. Ensure the bird has a comfortable place to rest. Warmth. If weather is cool, ensure the bird can stay warm without expending energy. A bird exhausted and depleted can become chilled easily. Isolation from aggressive birds. If you have birds that will harass or challenge the returnee, isolate the returning bird temporarily so it can rest without stress. Application. Starting the evening of return, provide chamomile tea and drinking water or give a few drops directly. Ensure the bird has an optimal rest environment. Allow uninterrupted rest for at least 12 to 16 hours overnight. The following day, continue calm environment. If the bird seems settled, it can rejoin the loft. If still stressed or exhausted, consider another day of quiet rest. Why this works? Calming herbs reduce stress hormones and promote relaxation, allowing the body to shift into recovery mode. Quality rest allows all the physiological repair processes to occur. A bird that rests deeply for 12 to 16 hours will recover faster than a bird that's restless and stressed. Complete 48-hour natural recovery timeline. Let me put this all together into a practical timeline. Immediately upon return, 0-2 hours. Check bird for injuries or major problems. Provide natural electrolyte solution as only water source. Do not feed yet, just hydration. Allow bird to drink, rest quietly. 2 to 6 hours post-return. Continue electrolyte solution. Begin offering very light feed. Small amounts easily digestible grains. Perform first-time steam therapy session, 5 to 10 minutes. Add chamomile tea to electrolyte solution for calming. 6 to 12 hours post-return. Transition to half electrolyte solution, half plain water, or begin adding plantain tea to water. Increase feed availability. Begin adding recovery seed mix, flax, fenugreek, hemp, to feed. Ensure quiet, dark rest environment overnight. Give chamomile directly if bird seems stressed or won't settle. 12 to 24 hours post-return. Transition to plain water with plantain tea added for digestive support. Feed normally but with recovery seed mix added. Optional second steam therapy if any respiratory signs noticed. Continue quiet environment, 24-48 hours post-return. Return to normal feeding. Continue recovery seed mix for 3 to 5 days total. Continue plantain tea and water for 2 to 3 days total. Bird can return to loft with others if fully recovered. Monitor droppings, appetite, behavior to ensure normal recovery. Day 3 to 7 post-return. Allow full rest, no training. Observe for any delayed problems. Common questions and considerations. How long before the bird can race again? This depends on the distance and difficulty of the race and the individual bird. Generally, after a race under 300 kilometers with good recovery, a bird might race again in 7 to 10 days. After a very hard or long race, 2 to 3 weeks is better. Never push a bird back into racing if it hasn't fully recovered. What if the bird seems sick, not just tired? If a bird returns with signs of illness beyond normal race fatigue, such as severe lethargy beyond 24 hours, respiratory distress, severe weight loss, or other concerning symptoms, seek veterinary care. The natural recovery protocol is for normal race fatigue, not illness. Can I use commercial products alongside natural methods? Yes. If you want to use a commercial electrolyte in the first hours, then transition to natural methods. That's fine. The natural approach can complement conventional care. What about antibiotics or anti-inflammatories after races? Many fanciers routinely medicate after races. I don't recommend this unless there's a specific indication. Routine antibiotic use contributes to resistance and disrupts the microbiome. Routine anti-inflammatory drug use can mask problems and has side effects with repeated use. The natural approach supports recovery without these downsides. Do I need to use all 5 steps? For best results, yes. Addressing all aspects of recovery gives optimal results. But if you can only do some, prioritize hydration first, then muscle recovery seeds, then the others as you're able. What about young birds on their first races? Young birds especially benefit from careful recovery support because they're not as conditioned as older birds. Use the full protocol but monitor them closely. Young birds recover quickly when properly supported. Final thoughts. Racing pigeons are incredible athletes. The physical feat of flying hundreds of kilometers, navigating back to a specific location, doing this repeatedly through a season, is extraordinary. But this performance comes at a cost. Each race stresses the body. How you manage recovery determines whether that stress builds the bird up or breaks it down. The natural recovery protocol I've outlined addresses every aspect of what the bird needs. Hydration with electrolytes, muscle repair with anti-inflammatory seeds, respiratory clearing with herbal steam, digestive recovery with soothing herbs, and rest supported by calming herbs. It's comprehensive, it's natural, it works with the bird's biology rather than overriding it with synthetic products, and it builds long-term resilience. I've used this approach for years. My birds recover quickly, stay healthy through the season, and perform consistently. I don't use routine medications, commercial recovery products, or synthetic supplements. Just good nutrition, herbal support, and attentive care. And the results speak for themselves. If you race pigeons and you're not satisfied with your current recovery protocol, if your birds seem to take too long to bounce back, if you're concerned about overusing medications, give this natural approach a try. Implement it for a season. Observe your birds. Track their recovery, their health, their performance. I think you'll be impressed by how effective simple natural methods can be when used correctly. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up. Race recovery is crucial to success in pigeon racing, and sharing effective methods benefits the entire sport. If you have your own recovery practices or experiences with natural methods, share in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed to Pigeon Healthy yet, please do and turn on notifications. We're building a community focused on natural, effective, science-based pigeon care that produces results without relying on chemicals. Thank you for watching. Take care of your birds, race them wisely, recover them thoroughly, and enjoy the incredible experience of campaigning racing pigeons naturally and successfully. I'll see you in the next video.